Who fans are some of the most passionate, knowledgeable fans in the world. We love you guys. Were you watching the show before you went into audition for the new companion?
Weirdly, no. Because in the UK when I was growing up, it was part of the time when it wasn't on anymore. So I was part of that generation of the denied children who didn't have Doctor Who growing up.
That's so sad.
But I remember actually weirdly being in New York and seeing Matt and Karen on a big poster in Times Square when it was all coming, like when it had just changed over. I remember thinking, oh wow, cool, Doctor Who's it's big over here. But it wasn't until I started to audition that I actually watched the 11th Hour, and I watched a couple of James Corden's episodes as well, because I wanted just to not kind of see Matt and Karen's dynamic too much whilst I was auditioning.
That's smart.
Yeah, because then I just thought it would be its own thing, and you're not in danger of kind of copying any rhythms or anything like that.
Did Karen give you any advice once you were cast?
No, she didn't. We were in makeup together a couple of times because I was in for Oswin on Asylum of the Daleks. So I was actually in makeup with Arthur, Karen, and Matt when I first started. But no, she didn't. We just wound Matt up actually, that we were texting, and she was giving me advice on how to handle Matt.
And did it work?
It just made him a bit paranoid, I think.
Well, that's par for the course, I guess, right? Yes, let's take our first question so we can get through as many as we can.
Hi, my name is Joe, and I wanted to ask, what was your favorite blooper moment on set?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh my goodness, do you know what? I've never been asked that before. There's so many that you get kind of, it's usually when things like you're being attacked by a Dalek and the Dalek gets caught in a doorway and can't get past, and then people have to run in and kind of like wheel the Dalek into the right place while you're still acting scared. And then the Dalek will leave and like bump into the wall and carry on. A lot of it is usually to do with, the funniest moments for me are when you call cut and like the monster or the bad guy will turn around and be like, what are you having for lunch?
Wait, that's so weird.
I know. Yeah, that's probably the funniest bits for me. There's a lot of trips and falls as well, because you kind of like tend to skid everywhere because you feel like, you know, you're an action hero when you do that. But that's often Matt in particular, where he will then fall over trying to get a really good skid.
Thank you. Great question. Yes.
Who's that person holding up Kit Harington?
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow over there. That's all I can see is Kit, like, it's this Jon Snow waving at me. It's really distracting.
Hi. My question is, what's it like working as Clara in Doctor Who?
It's brilliant. I mean, she's a school teacher who kind of lives a double life of teaching, you know, Jane Austen, and then will run into a stationery cupboard and run off to Mars and save the world, and then come back and carry on with Pride and Prejudice. So it's a lot of fun. I loved it. I mean, I've liked having the opportunity to play all different versions of Clara, and you know, go through many a Doctor. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. Were you happy with how the storyline wrapped up for Clara?
Yeah, I loved it actually. I never knew what was going to happen until I read the last episode, but the only thing Stephen said to me was she won't be a companion who goes back to Earth. He said, I just can't see her going back and carrying on and living a normal life again. We kind of have to find a different way.
Yeah. Yes, hi.
Hi. Oh my god, this light is blinding me. What was your favorite Doctor Who moment, like most intense, just something you really, really enjoyed on set?
In terms of acting or in terms of Jenna?
Acting.
Acting. I love the snowman. I love being on top of that image of being on a cloud and jumping up and down on a cloud with the TARDIS and the moonlight and the stars and the spiral staircase. I loved the snowman episode. I think that's still my favourite. I mean, there's all sorts. We were in Lanzarote in spacesuits, which was the moon. for 3 days. And what was quite funny is it was so hot, it was like 80 something degrees. So we all had cooling suits on. So in between takes, you had to like go and be plugged in to like the tent so the cooling suit would work. I mean, every day was so different. Every day was kind of, you know, whether you put on wires and hung upside down. And there was a lot of hanging upside down last series.
There is.
I got hung upside down a lot. That was intense. Harder than you think.
I bet.
Thank you. What has it been like going from playing a very modern, you know, Clara to Queen Victoria, who is quite different?
Yes, it's very different. Yes, it is. I mean, this is a bit of a culture shock. I wrapped on Queen Victoria what feels like yesterday, but I think it might have been the day before. So I've just been in Yorkshire in Victorian times in stately homes, and then I've got on a plane, stopped off in Chicago, got here. So it feels quite odd.
Well, we're glad you made it for some barbecue.
Yeah. Yes. Hi.
I'm Haley. Clara's been through a lot of emotional scenes, a lot of emotional trauma, I guess you would say. How, as an actress, do you come down from that kind of emotional scene?
Go for a drink. To be honest, usually in the scene that will do it. You kind of put yourself in a certain place, and then you live out the scene, and then that's done. So you can kind of walk away, which I think is a healthy way. And then usually after that, you've probably got some running to do up and down a corridor, so that kind of gets rid of it as well.
Thank you. Yes, hi.
Yay, Clara.
Hi!
Hello.
What was the difference between working with Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi, like the difference between chemistry for you guys?
I don't know, that's really hard for me to say. They're actually, funnily, they're very, the way they work is really, really similar. What's kind of not similar is their doctors. But in terms of the way they work, they're actually remarkably, they're both, they never commit to one option of a scene. Like they're constantly kind of they're searching for different ways. So you can film like 6 different versions of a scene, and you know you only kind of obviously see one that goes out on screen. But they're incredibly spontaneous and creative, and like to make fun of me a lot. So quite similar. Just you know, one's grey, one isn't. Although Matt's a little bit grey, apparently. So. Thank you. Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
So, last year, Karen told a few stories about how she used to break a lot of stuff on set, and so I was wondering if you ever broken any of the films.
I think on my first day I broke the TARDIS. I felt like it was a really bad omen. Like, but genuinely, I got really suspicious about it. I was like, everyone's going to hate me. The TARDIS hates me. And then it became a thing of like that the TARDIS doesn't like Clara. But everything breaks. But it's impossible when you're on the TARDIS to not touch stuff. Like anyone that comes on, I defy you to not start pressing buttons. I started to do it a bit too eagerly, and then Peter looked at me. He was like, "It's not how you work it." But there's a lot of things that you know, a lot of guns, like you know, the kind of like weapons that will fall off and things during takes. Everything breaks. Everything.
Thank you.
The set walls you've got to be careful of because they wobble.
That makes sense.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to ask, what was it like getting to banter with Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi?
The best. It's brilliant. Because they're both so fabulous and both really good friends and both fantastic actors and very different, brilliant, kind of enigmatic doctors. So for me, it was a great way to experience the job, and also to kind of play Clara against 2 different doctors and see what that did to her as well was really interesting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Oswin.
Hi,
Hello.
my name is Brianna,
Hello.
and my question is, what was your favorite line that Clara said on the show?
Favorite line. I mean, fun, you clever boy. I think
That was your signature.
It kept coming back.
Yeah.
I loved all the Souffle Girl stuff. I think she had some cracking one-liners.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. So I asked if Karen had any advice for you, and they just announced the new companion, Pearl Mackie. Do you have any advice for her going in?
Oh man, what can you say other than enjoy it? Enjoy it. It goes so quickly, and you know it's so exciting to see the show propelled forward, and to see Peter's Doctor with a new companion and what that's going to bring and do. And I mean, he is one of the most wonderful human beings. So she's in for a real wonderful roller coaster. It's very exciting.
That's amazing.
Yes.
What was your favorite version of Clara to play as an actor?
I loved. I loved Osborne Oswald. I thought she was kind of crackers, which I enjoyed. And then also the Nancy, the kind of the Cockney Clara in The Snowman, which originally was going to be who Clara was going to be full time. It was one of the main ideas to make her kind of a Mary Poppins / Nancy from Oliver living a double life. So that's what the series was going to start off with. It's quite interesting what a journey we took. But that was incredibly fun to play.
Thank you.
That is interesting. Do you credit yourself with that influence of the divergence?
No, it was all Stephen. I had to audition for about 5 different characters and all these different accents, and I was like, they don't know what they want. They're just trying to go across every kind of possible, accent or person. And I didn't realize that Stephen had this big kind of master plan.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi. What did it mean to you to be the Impossible Girl?
A lifetime of adventures, I think. I remember when we were doing the 50th anniversary, and it's what me and Stephen looked at one another and were just saying, it's what. Oh, he used a word that was like a really smart word that I've forgotten. But it was something that we were saying when we're 60 years old and you get to look back at like all these special things that happen in your life, that's going to be something that you never ever forget. So that's what it means.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. What was it like working with Maisie Williams in the latest season?
Oh, she's brilliant. It was so, it felt like she was there for years with us. I knew Maisie before anyway, but I think she's a wonderful actress and so much fun. The three of us are kind of, we were just like 3 kids really, but of completely different kind of ages. But yeah, she's amazing. She's a clever, great girl.
Thank you.
Are you a Game of Thrones fan?
Yeah, I like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I kind of I've missed like the last 2 seasons. I need to catch up, but I love it.
Well, we
I've
won't
watched it
spoil
from the start.
anything for you.
Okay, no, don't.
But keep watching.
Okay.
Yes.
What was your favorite moment with the cast and the crew of Doctor Who?
The cast and the crew.
Yeah.
Probably filming the 50th. There was something when we were filming the 50th anniversary. We were doing that, but we were also shooting in 3D. So the process of filming was really different, and it was also my birthday, David Tennant's birthday, and Doctor Who's birthday. So we had cake nearly every day.
Thank you.
Hi.
How did you transition from working with Matt to Peter?
Well, we did one scene where Matt had to leave and Peter had to literally come up the stairs of the TARDIS and pass Matt. They had a hug, we all had a picture. Matt gave Peter his watch, and then we like carried on rehearsing and went on. So that was really bizarre. It was such a weird day because you're equally kind of so sad to be losing, a friend and a colleague, and well, more than a colleague. But at the same time, you're incredibly excited because this incredible actor is coming on and going to do something great in this famous role. So it's a really mixed bag of feelings. And then after that, we took like 3 months off and came back in the January. with Ben Wheatley directing, so it felt like a whole new show after that. And it was kind of just starting again, really, starting fresh and seeing what happened.
Thank you.
Yeah, I imagine that passing of the torch would be just, I mean, that's
It's
so symbolic.
literally
Like,
mid-scene.
Yeah.
Here's my watch, here's my TARDIS, here's my companion, bye-bye. Literally, it's so brutal.
What happened?
Hi.
Hi. My question is, what was it like to change from like set to set every day, and what would have been your favorite?
My favourite set? The TARDIS.
I do not blame you.
But I don't know how it happens, because you can walk, so it's all in Roadblock Studios in Cardiff, and you walk in and it's like this, I mean, there's 3 gigantic studios where we do loads of green screen and the TARDIS is always there, but then they build, you know the streets that you see in Victorian London, they're all built. We built the banks of the Thames that you saw in Peter Capaldi's first episode. They brought in loads of sand and all sorts of stuff like you wouldn't believe, and I don't know when it happens. It's like secret men in the night come and make new worlds, and you walk in and you're on a different planet. Literally.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello.
So, Clara, she really likes books and Doctor Who, and I was wondering what your favorite book was.
Clara likes books. I love a book called East of Eden, and I also like a book called Catcher in the Rye, and I read something called The Goldfinch. But when I was younger, my favourite book was called The Naughtiest Girl in School by Enid Blyton. You're welcome.
Thank you. Are you one of those people that reads everything by an author you find you like?
Yeah, I like kind of go through fits and phases of it.
Yeah, I do that too. I find someone and I read everything.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering why you love Doctor Who and are you sad about it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why do you love Doctor Who and are you sad?
Oh, I didn't hear the question properly. Sorry. I thought you said you're sad that I left. Why did I leave, was the question. Because I felt I did 3 series and had worked with 2 doctors, and I think that was just kind of a great, it was the right, I felt the story had gone to the right place to leave, and I was extremely sad about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Hello, it's BB-8. We met earlier.
What was it like being in Doctor Who?
That was a good job asking that question.
It was amazing.
Thank you, BB-8. You did a good job asking. It's hard to pick a favorite job, but would you say Doctor Who is your favorite? I mean, I'm like obviously leading you into an answer, but
Yeah, it kind of it feels more like a special period in time. It doesn't feel like a job really. It's its own weird and wonderful thing. Yes.
Where did you get the eggs for the souffle?
Are you putting that voice on, or is that computerized?
This is my natural speaking voice.
Nicholas Briggs, he's going to be out of a job. There was no eggs. No eggs.
oh, you dream crusher.
Did you at least enjoy being the first Dalek companion?
The Dalek companion.
You are an inspiration to the Daleks.
They're not very comfortable, are they?
Writing in Daleks? No, it is fairly uncomfortable.
Aside from the thank you, by the way, amazing job. You had your own little moment there. It was great. Aside from the switching of the doctors, while we bring up the next person to the mic, was there any scene that was particularly odd, strange?
Filming inside a Dalek is really hard. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the way we did it. This is the third time I was inside a Dalek, where we're all wired up, but that was incredibly tricky.
Yeah.
But again, actually filming upside down is really hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to that.
Let's stick with the upside down.
The upside down
in a
is
small enclosure.
The most challenging experience I've ever had. Hi. Hello.
Hi, what's the scariest monster you've had?
Ooh. I think the silence scary. For me, it's the ones that go really slowly after you. I don't like it. Really freaks me out because there's something about the confidence of I don't need to go fast because I'm going to get you anyway. It really scares me. So the silence I don't like. Well, I like, but in a scary way. And the Whisper Men. Does anyone remember the Whisper Men? The Whisper Men from The Name of the Doctor, I find scary.
What's the scariest one to you?
I think it's maybe the Daleks or Cybermen. They're very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
But
are.
they take off their heads in between takes. So maybe that's why I don't find them as scary. Whereas the Whisper Man, they kind of wear tight socks over their faces and they stay like that. I didn't like that.
Thank you. That was a great question. Yes. Hi.
Hello. My question is, do you have any advice for aspiring actresses? Especially ones that want to be on Doctor Who.
For Doctor Who in particular, write to Stephen Moffat. But I just say to watch as much film as you can and read as much as you can, just kind of as many stories really as possible. Go to the theatre. And actually, a really good advice someone gave me recently was, since with Twitter and YouTube and the internet, is kind of how the platforms are changing. It's kind of a lot more easier to be accessible. So if you want to pick up a camera and start filming things and make short films or anything like that, it's a lot easier to kind of start making your own stuff, actually.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, hi. Hello.
What was your favorite episode to play as Clara?
Snowman. Bye. Hi.
Hello. This is a question my dad conjured out of his mind. Did you ever steal anything from the set?
Yes, I did.
What would that be?
I stole a piece of TARDIS. I asked permission and then left with it under a towel. It was a plan for a while. I've actually there was a line, I don't know if anyone remembers, about a clockwork squirrel. And then the props team, I walked past them one day and I was like, what are you making? They were like, oh, a clockwork squirrel. And I was like, that's amazing. So I've got that. I've got a clockwork squirrel and a piece of TARDIS, and I have my TARDIS key on a necklace as well.
Thank you.
That's definitely an awe moment.
Yes, hi. They may have changed the locks, but... Hi.
Okay, so I'm going to be 100% honest. I nearly cried watching Face the Raven.
Lean into the mic.
I nearly cried watching Face the Raven. That was just horrible.
Oh.
I mean, it was sad. And, okay, so my question is, we all know how the Doctor felt watching you leave. But what did Peter Capaldi, what was his reaction to your leaving the show?
It was a strange one because we both knew it was happening for a while. I I'm just trying to think what his reaction was. I mean, we both knew it was coming, so we could both feel it, but we're not, you know, he's very Scottish. And quite dry. So we'd much sooner kind of like find something to insult each other and make fun of each other, which secretly means I love you, than you know, be kind of hugging and, but it was incredibly emotional. And I got some, you know, lovely gifts from him. But I see him all the time still. It's just you kind of know it's the end of a thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have time for one more question.
What was it like for you on set for your first day?
My first day?
That's a good one.
My first day was bananas. I was filming on Asylum of the Dalek, but Matt, Karen and Arthur were on another unit filming the dinosaur episode, I think it was. So I was by myself talking to a green circle in a spaceship, which was supposed to be Matt, with someone reading in lines. I'd spent 2 days talking to a green circle, and that was literally my first 2 days on Doctor Who. And then I remember I sat on a light, and I only remembered this recently. I sat down on a light when, you know, there's a bit where she gets upset at the end and she's crying. I sat on a light and I burnt my hand. So if you try and look back at some of the episodes, you'll see my hands like this because I've got this huge blister on it as well. So that was quite a strange first day.
Thank
and I
you.
remember putting Matt going, is it always like this?
And he's like, yes, it is.
He's like, yes, you talk to imaginary things, you talk to tennis balls, you talk to green circles. Welcome to Doctor Who.
Welcome to Doctor Who. Thank you so much, Jenna, for coming to talk with us for an